Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm here with you again to talk to you today on the topic of speaking quietly. Now, I know some of us talk loud. Sometimes we talk real quiet, and it's not really talking about the the volume when the Bible talks about speaking quietly. It's talking about the intent. Now, volume is part of it for sure, but you can be nasty and be quiet. So that's not the idea at all. Well, today I want to look at Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And perhaps you've heard of this chapter. It's the chapter that talks about a time for, and it goes over a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of scenarios. And today I want to look at Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 7. And it says here, there's a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be quiet and a time to speak. The author of Ecclesiastes here is trying to point out that there are different seasons for different things. Some of us just sort of run full throttle into everything like a bull in a china shop. And then sometimes we're just so quiet, we try to absorb a hurt and nastiness as though it doesn't affect us. But it does, somewhere down inside. And so the author here says there's a time to tear and a time to mend. What does he mean by that? Well, I think of a piece of cloth. You can tear it, you can rip it. That's not what he said. You can accidentally tear it, you can intentionally break it. And usually when that happens, it's happened kind of out of anger, particularly when you rip it. Now, if you get it caught in something and it tears, that's a whole different matter. And perhaps you've done that many times. But it says there's a time to mend. Mend means to fix, to cover over the imperfection, to improve the quality, to make it better. And so when we think of that phrase of making it better, then the phrase about talking makes an awful lot of sense. And then he says there's a time to be quiet and a time to speak. And note, for his purposes, the author puts quiet before speaking. Most of us tend to speak before being quiet. I mean, think about your own life. Do you think first and then speak? Or do you speak first and then think, I got to fix this? I've made it a habit over the years as I taught when I write students an email. I don't send it right after I write it. I wait a little bit and read it again to be sure that I'm not letting my emotions get in the way of what I want to say, and then I'm saying it in a way that could be helpful. It's really easy to criticize. It's really easy to jump on somebody for what they've done or how they did it wrong. Our culture's full of that language. It's ugly. It doesn't benefit anything. Oh, maybe it makes the person feel better, but it doesn't accomplish anything. Even if you succeed with anger language and bullying people, you don't change them. You just make them do what you want until the time when they don't have to. Jesus always spoke quietly, as far as we know. Now, sometimes he got a little sharp with the scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites, as he called them. He didn't like people who played religion and pretended to be religious. And you know what? I don't either. I suspect many of you don't. But the person who really wants to walk with God finds a way to have the time of quiet and then a time to speak. And the speaking's goal is the time to bend. Now, look at your life yesterday. We don't go back too far, it gets confusing. Or look at it in the day up till the time you're listening to this. How have you done in terms of speaking quietly in order to mend? Or speaking loudly in order to vent or to criticize or condemn? You know, we all have thoughts that we want to express that we know we shouldn't. That's being human. There are some people who say that even thinking an angry thought is a sin and is going to take you to hell. Well, I don't think so. And I don't think so because I'm human. And I might think it. It's what I do with it that really counts. Do I blurt out in a anger fit with a loud noise or something? Or do I speak quietly in order to try to mend? You know, the Bible talks about God speaking in a small, still voice. I know many of us have been influenced by the old movie, The Ten Commandments, and God speaks in a deep, baritone voice, Moses. No, maybe he did, but Moses didn't speak back loudly. You see, God wants us to exhibit godliness wherever you are in life. And he wants us to do it better each and every day. So if yesterday you didn't do so well, okay, sun came up again today, try it again. If it's been years since you were able to speak quietly, okay, start today. You see, where we are is not the important part. It's where we're going that's what's important. And God wants us to speak in his place, to be his words, to be his kindness, to be his presence. That's what this is talking about here. There's a time for that. And that time is right now. So I hope you'll take a look at yourself and examine your ways. I can't do that. I can only work with my own problems and inabilities. But I hope that in doing so, you'll find a peace and a joy that comes from the presence of God. Well, thank you for listening. If you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Have a great, great day. I'll be back tomorrow. God bless you.